piece of equipment I found on the marketplace. So this is the John Deere crawler that I'm looking at. It's a 440. The ad wasn't clear if it was a diesel or not. This thing has been parked for an unknown period of time. So you can see, man, that looks like diesel. Let's see, is it? It's a diesel. How awesome is this? I don't know if you can see it. That says GM General Motors diesel power. That's like a 253 Detroit. Let's get this thing loaded out. I'm pretty excited about this one. Got this electric thing. Let's see. I can't believe this thing actually still works. The hydraulic fluid is pretty full and clean. That's empty. Nice up to full. Just gonna lube up all these hinge points here.
Yeah, get a head start on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to take this cover off. I'd like to get in and see if I can get. I just want to make sure the motor's free. Always one you can't get to.
A couple guys. Another guy. So yeah, she'll probably be kicked out next month or whatever.
It's gone forever. Good news. You can't get on it there either. So right down there is a hydraulic pump mounted to the front of this engine, and it might not actually roll over by hand with that pump. So the next best thing is to just hit the starter and see what happens. I'm gonna take this off and maybe this cover to see if I can see down in there. See all the stuff falling out of there? I don't love that. Safety third. Is this a foreshadowing of what's to come? Yeah, golly, you'd think that it would give up its dead. There you go. Now you want to cooperate? I bet you do. Look at that. Dude, no way. Things are looking up. I like what I'm seeing. There's no mouse house and not really a lot of rust looking stuff. That's really good. A mouse nest, but... Look at this. There's like plants growing here. I don't know what they are. I probably wouldn't eat them. I probably shouldn't touch them. It's like growing all in the seat. Is this mold or is this seat? No, that's old seat. Some moss. She's been sitting a while. If you're doing this in the summertime, you'd want to check for bees. They haven't started their annoying life cycle yet. So, okay. I was gonna mess around trying to figure out how to get that hood off. We're just gonna do a little tap testing. I know the internet loves to see me hit the battery terminals with a hammer. There's a real good chance that battery's dead. Doesn't want to do what it's told. That's what happens. Nothing's happening. Oh, I got a light there. Let's see what happens. Oh. So that's spinning the solenoid, but not the starter. I gotta figure out which post to go to. Tap here. How about this is not engaging the Bendix? I hooked it to another one. Oh,
there's something.
All right, so yeah, you're right. It needs to go. So this is kind of like those direct starters on like the big cams. You have to kick the solenoid in and the starter because it throws a fork out, which kicks the Bendix in.
Bingo.
My gosh, that thing is gonna run.
Yeah.
She wants to go right now. All right, okay. I need to do a lot more investigation than this, but let's see what happens if we give her some fresh air. There it is. Dude, that is awesome. There's freaking bees down there. This thing is gonna run. All right, I'm excited. Back out here a couple days later, let's check some fluids on this machine. So there's something on there. It's low. I'm guessing that's transmission. The thing I need to have working is the fuel shutoff. Just looking in the tank here, it looks really clean and there's just not a lot of fuel in there. I think we're just gonna try to add some fuel to this and see what happens. Tracing this cable out, it just ends. That ain't right. It'd really be nice to get this off here so I could see what all was going on under there. So what I'm gonna do is hold this back because this locks forward, which would imply that it's like a float. So I think this is the boom, and I'm gonna crank this over as I pull this back in hopes that the cranking the engine over will run the pump and lift this up. But in my haste, I forgot to unchain this. Crisis averted. It turns out hooking a dead battery to a dead battery doesn't make it better. Let's try the skid steer on this. Anytime you're gonna lift on hydraulics, you really wanna have the valves open. So I'm gonna use this questionable bungee strap. That'll let fluid pass by as I lift those arms. See if I can get these guys out. I don't have like a great way to block that up. I'm not a crazy huge fan of lifting that thing up and then crawling under this. That's my good friend Pooh Bear. Caught me in the middle of some sketchy. You might feel a little front heavy, but you're good. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Good boy. Come here. Get on the trailer. Good boy. Sit down. Sit. Stay. Good boy. That's a good boy, buddy. Out in the shop finally. I'm not going to unload this because I just have too much stuff in the way. The plan is to get this thing running and driving off the trailer. This is going to go back on because that's got to go sit in the weeds for a little while and think about what it's done. There is a video on that machine, not a super success, but it was fun to rescue. And before I forget, first thing I want to do is pull this valve cover off and make sure the rack is stuck. I think this is a Detroit 253. I know a little bit about Detroits, and I know these are the most common to runaway diesel engine. Because the racks get stuck, I don't know if that's the case here, just want to check. There she be. So this right here is the fuel rack, and these plungers back there go into the injectors, which are here, I believe. These are your intake and exhaust valves, and then this is an injector which is manually operated. These are the fuel lines, probably supply and return. So what we want to check for here is that this rotates freely and it's not stuck, because on a Detroit, when they shut the engine down, this thing actually fails to wide open, and then they get stuck, and when you go to restart it, you're now in wide open throttle and it'll run away. While that can be exciting, it's certainly not ideal. So let's throw the wrong tool on here and see. I feel like and they're not. So something we're gonna have to look into. Gonna do some research on how to free up the rack in a Detroit, because I've never actually done that. All right, 30 seconds later, I'm an expert. This should move freely, and it's not. Getting that one to pop back up. I may have to take these two fuel lines and the rocker off to be able to get access to that and pull it up. So let's just do that. I saw this on the internet, so it has to be real. Tricky bit here. Oh, I think I got it to go. Hopefully it wasn't too much go. Let's hose that down with some still wants the sticks. Do the old Popperdooski again. And that's working like it's supposed to now. Let's see if the rack's free. Yep. Working good. That's how that's supposed to be. Nice and free, buttery smooth. Always check this on a Detroit. There's always a risk of a diesel engine running away, kind of period, but Detroits are really prone to this. So any GM, Screamin' Jimmy, Detroit, whatever you want to call them, make sure you check the racks. Let's reassemble this. This was pretty easy. I'm sure there's a torque spec on this. I can tell you how much it's gonna get. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but that thing is just plugged up with just nasty stuff. Like, this is pretty much totally plugged. Look at that. Yuck. It doesn't look super great, but at least it's cleaned out. I feel like it's probably pretty important. Also putting compressed air through this one. Okay. I feel like that is good to go. Wish I remembered the way this went on. This looks right. I don't think that's right. I guess it's just hitting those things. I got this on. I do. Check this out. It can only go one way. See this V? This V? Idiot proof. One of the other precautionary steps you can take if you're working on any diesel engine really, but specifically a Detroit, because that's what we're working on. Whatever the case is, you can remember this. A diesel engine needs three things to run: air, fuel, and compression. And if you want to take an extra step, which I'm going to do anyway, you can locate where the air goes into the engine and make that accessible in a way that you could cover it up quickly. You know, you could throw a t-shirt over the air intake and it would keep that from running away. Just gonna remove this guy, nice and clean in there. That mouse house is probably down at the bottom, and it'll probably come up more and more as that thing starts spinning. I think this line is worn through. Right there. I'm gonna royally screw myself if I can't figure out how to make this work on the new line. But I guess I already don't have a fuel line, so. Oh yeah, that's easy to reuse. That's cool. Roughly the same. Just like that. That was really easy. Also put a new line on the tank. That's what was left in the tank. I'm guessing like that's just a mixture of water and old red diesel. Well, I think it's about that time. Nice if I could have gotten some of that in there. I don't know, let's roll this thing over and see what happens, I guess. I got the battery hooked up, we got fuel. I got the fuel thing cracked here so we can see when this fills up, hopefully quickly. Oh cool, the negative terminal is glowing again. Let's try to pressurize this tank. Yeah, there we got it. Okay. Let's give her a little squirt. Oh, she runs! That's exciting. I feel like we're still not getting fuel, or just air maybe. I feel like it's a fuel issue. Oh, that is amazing every time. Man, it runs good. Uno más. It is like, I don't know, probably 11 o'clock at night, and I want to clean up this mess. I actually got to take this back home with me. I want to power wash it. I just bought a new power washer because the pump died in the other one. And then we'll try to unload this thing off the trailer. Be right back. I was just cleaning up the shop. Look what I found. They must have been like underneath the seat or something. Look at that. There's power. Nothing. How cool is that? Just picked up this Craftsman pressure washer. I could have replaced the pump on the other one, but that would have lasted 6 months and cost $100. So I also sent this with AMSOIL, which I was kind of impressed by. I just filled this gas tank. I'm not gonna waste the gas. You know, I could sell this thing for like 50 bucks, but there's like dozens of pressure washers on Marketplace that need pumps. So stupid thing fell over one time, broke off. I have not even started this yet. That's looking a lot nicer. It's nice to have stuff clean when you're working on it. Just noticing that big patch right there. Somebody patched that fuel tank. Hopefully it doesn't actually leak. Back out here the next day. I want to try moving this thing for the first time. That answers that question. I got a hydraulic line here leaking pretty bad, so I'm gonna get this fixed. Cool, it's raining again. Let's see if I can bump this over. All I need to do is gently tap this front end over. the key word is I didn't see anything that could go wrong. This thing got left loose and caught in the tracks. Simple repair. I'm taking one of these off this thing, setting it back into the block. That should work for now. Good news. I found one of these jugs, and this is definitely coolant, and most certainly not puddle water from the cover of my boat. Why does it smell like gasoline? Well, there's something in there. Ooh, a little overfull. That's okay. Better more than less. Somebody's gonna be in the comments like, actually. Need to be able to take that back off, so when I get to the shop, I'll weld this right to there, and that won't wiggle anymore.
Too tight, man.
Oh, it's out of here. Okay. Let's see. You want to make sure you're in gear. I've landed in a lake. Oh, I hope I don't smash my finger. Man, that was scary. Okay. because there's weight on the arms too. And there it goes. That head screws. Is
that supposed to do that?
That's green, which means there's coolant leaking somewhere. I'll have to investigate that. But this is part of the air cleaner, and I want to get this cleaned up and back installed correctly. Just get that cleaned out. That looks a lot nicer. This is an oil bath air filter. You can see the oil level. Oh, it's like finger tight in here. Why are they not? I found some more bolts that were holding it. Now this thing wants to wander off.
Came up with this idea, that's brilliant, all by yourself.
Mr. In-N-Out demands all of the credit for this because it was his idea. First look, see here, there's the line. Why is this falling over my head? It's got several holes in it.
I've misplaced my confidence.
That's where it was leaking. Rubbed through by the fan belt. I got this new hose. I think I can make it work. Okay. It's not rubbing on there. Right, but it's flapping, I think. At least it's not touching at the moment, I guess. That ought to work. Okay, hold on. Up to the top there. I'll probably add like another gallon, but I think this seat has seen better days. Let's change it or get rid of it. We're gonna take this back to the shop and let's do something with this thing. All right, that's good. Pretty barbaric way to do that, but my skid steer wouldn't push that over. I really don't know what more you could ask for in a machine. Look at this. Look at this crazy puppies. And he just chews on Max's face, and Max is just pretty patient about it. Hey, don't you chew on my face.